With all that we've learned and all that you've experienced with Latin America, I bet you're still digesting a lot of it, and that's totally fine. But to give you a little summary to think about, let's go all the way back to one of our very first lessons on Latin America. Do you remember this list of common misconceptions about the region? Let's take the time and go through all of these one by one and shoot them down with what we know now. You ready? Number 1, America is just the United States. Well, we can put that one to bed right away because we know that Mexico is right there on North America, just to the south of the US. The US shares the northern continent with Mexico as well as Canada. Number 2, Latin America is just Mexico. Well, that just sounds silly now, doesn't it? Taking a look at the map over here, we know that in addition to Mexico, Latin America is composed of the 12 countries and 2 dependencies in South America, the 7 countries in Central America, and a whopping 13 independent countries and 15 protectorates and dependencies in the Caribbean. Latin America is the home to many different places and many different peoples. Number 3, Latin America is just one big rainforest. Now, you can't really blame people for this one. After all, it's based on the idea of the largest rainforest in the world, the Amazon. However, we explored the rugged highlands of Patagonia, the plains of the Pampas, the crumpled paper terrain of Mexico, the keys, atolls, and volcanic islands of the Caribbean, and the vast mineral-rich Gulf Coast plains. And finally, number 4. There is no such thing as Latin American food. Aren't you glad you took geography so now you know to take a trip down to Salvador, Brazil for some African-inspired seafood dishes. Then take the trek up to northern Mexico or Argentina for the oldest barbecue tradition in the world. First, stopping by Cuauhtémoc Moctezuma Brewery when you're old enough for a German-inspired Mexican beer. Rounding out your trip by finishing off in Buenos Aires, the Paris of the West, for European cuisine par excellence. Clearly, we've made some progress, right? Now, was that everything about Latin America? Absolutely not. For a teacher, a lesson is always a place not to complete an idea, but to ignite curiosity in you, the student. So as long as you're always hungry to want to learn a little bit more, we've done our job. Now, back to those explorers that came over to Latin America, all looking for their own little, maybe not so little piece of it. Remember where they were all from? That's right, Europe. When you ask the average person about Europe, most if not all of them will mention one of 3 things. World War I, World War II, or knights and castles. If they're smart, they might bring up the Roman Empire and talk about their legions. But do you notice a theme here? All the most common ideas that people think of when they think of Europe have to do with war. Weird, right? So why does everyone want to fight over Europe? At first glance, it doesn't make much sense. It's not the biggest continent. It's not the most populated continent. It's never even been close to being united in the past, as evidenced by the number of different countries or different languages there. 24 official, over 200 spoken. So what gives? Well, as a geographer, you have to remember that our study is about, among other things, location, location, location. Europe's location makes it a prime spot for farming, fishing, logging, industry, banking, shipping, and tourism. In addition to that, Europe also has among the first and the largest automotive and aerospace industries, and they're the largest exporter of products to pretty much anywhere on the earth, and well, I could go on. But the point is, Europe is a fantastic example of a geographic concept that we like to call the why of where, or why people live where they do, and what about that place makes it so special to them. With all that in mind, welcome to the continent of Europe.
Hey!